All right, so last class we drew our ribbons or strips of fabric or whatever you want to call them, grid for lack of a better term. And we added some shading around where they go underneath another one. We added shading where they're coming up here and that kind of thing. So that was in the last slide in the last video. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch it. We added everything very lightly. One thing that wasn't on there because I forgot it was adding shading to the edges out this way. I didn't do that on every one of them. So you can put them in now, or you could have done it last time because you heard me mention it. As long as you do it, that's fine. So I have that added in now, as you can see. So I've done one strip here, or I've gotten it pretty far along. I don't know if I'm going to consider it finished, but we shall see. So what I wanted to do is show you that one and then show you on another one how I got to that point. So you're going to be working with one color plus black. And I did this one in green. I started this one in green a little bit. So I'm going to do this middle one in blue because I don't want to be bored with my colors. So I'm going to be using the regular blue. Well, it does say blue. And black. Okay? Now, first thing though is you're going to need a regular pencil. And here's why. The first step is in the middle of these sections, like you see here, you're going to draw very lightly, and I might have to draw darker than what I would like for y'all to, an oval. Yeah, you can see that. Okay? And I'm going to put one, actually I'm going to move that one. I'm going to move it more to like here, so it'll look curved. And then I'll put one here-ish, kind of over top of this one. Oval, oval, okay? Now here I had it there, there, and there, but I erased them, okay? But you want to put those in. Why do you want to put those in? That's the area you want to leave white. Okay, so if you go ahead and draw that in, it'll just be a nice reminder when you get there, stop coloring, that has to stay white, okay? All right, so now let's come down here. So this is my black. It's a little scribbly, but like I said, that's not the end of the world. I did notice on some of y'all's, you kind of like colored and stopped, and you have this very hard stop. You really want that to fade out. So what you might want to do is take your pencil, black color pencil, and just color really lightly along your edge so that it's very faint. You can almost not even see it. So it's a blend, okay? It's just going to make your life easier down the road, okay? Now I'm going to take my blue. All right, you can do a different color on each one. I don't care. I just wouldn't do yellow. Yellow's so light, and it'll kind of look dingy with the black under it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly color blue over top of my black, and I'm coming up a little further too, but I'm keeping it light. I'm not pressing hard. We'll get to that later. And you want to color over top of all the black. Now you'll still be able to see it some. That's the point. But how you did a light layer of black, now you just want a light layer of blue. And I'm going to keep coloring this up on this particular piece of ribbon, shall we say. But the closer I get to my oval, the lighter I'm going to color. So if you think this is light, buddy, I'm fixing to get a lot lighter, okay? So I'm going to barely color here because I'm getting close to my oval. Okay, so it's really hard to see because it's so faint, but You don't want to be like black, green, stop, white. You want your color to fade into pure white, which is just going to stay the white of your paper. Okay, so that's how you start it. Now, I've got to get it up. I've got to bring up the level. Okay, so what I'm going to do down here, where it's going to be darkest, just like this one, is I'm going to color dark blue. And I'm pressing pretty good now, okay? And you really can't color too dark down here. You really can't, because what creates the illusion of, realism, that this is actually a piece of cloth or fabric bending in space, is going from very dark to super light, and then fading back down and doing it again, and back down and doing it again, okay? So you really can't color too dark down here. In fact, if you had a different type of paper, or if you even had access to watercolors or something like that, we could even make this darker. But we're going to work with what we have for now, so everybody has the same materials. And I've got a long way to go on this one, right? So I can bring this blue up even further. And now you'll notice I'm not pressing quite as hard. It looks like it sounds like it, I'm not. I'm not pressing as hard, and you can see a difference here in value. And just gonna let that fade for now, okay? This is going to be a lot of back and forth, so have your black color pencil handy and ready to go. Now, I got to add more black down here. So it's all about layering. You're not going to get the desired effect immediately. You're just not. So if you have to work on this for a little bit, that's the point, guys. It's not just to be like, I'm done, kids love to do that. I love y'all, but y'all do love to do it, okay? So the point here, the goal is to create the illusion of realism, and it takes time. I can tell you color pencil drawings that I've done, even with like really expensive color pencils that put down color really quickly, blah, 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 doesn't matter. Still takes time. So I'm doing another layer of black. Now I'm pressing pretty hard, because when you think about it, you have, colored pencil is wax base. So when you do your light layer, okay, you have a very light layer of wax. Then you put the blue on top of that. And then you color darker blue on top of that. And then what you're getting is this layering of waxiness. And it allows you to press harder, and it a little bit, not as much as like an oil pastel or something like that, or crayon even, but it will start to help blend itself. That wax will be like, yeah, I want to be soft and flexible and great. And it'll sort of help you out. Now, as I'm going higher, I'm pressing lighter. Might not look like it, might not sound like it, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to stop my black probably about here, but I'm going to let it fade just a little more. Now what do? Blue. Actually, I noticed right down here, this needs a little more black. And you're going to have to pay attention to your paper. We drew the same things. We drew the same idea, but we all drew it different. I can guarantee you right now, I've looked at all of them so far. These are all super different, because you are a different person than anyone else. So you're just going to have to pay attention to your paper. Okay. You can look at mine. You can go by mine. That is perfectly fine. If you were in the classroom, y'all know I lose half my examples I make, because kids come up and take them to their seats and look at them. They get misplaced, and I never see them again, but that's okay. So, referencing mine is great, but just keep in mind, yours is different than mine. And I do not like this. It's kind of this harsh stop. So, I'm just going to lightly blend that out a little. Remember we talked about creating illusion in art is manipulating the paper, but it's also having an understanding of how do I manipulate this material. You know, for our sake right now, it's colored pencil. In glazing, when we did the food projects, it was how do I manipulate this glaze so that it looks realistic? How do I manipulate the texture of the clay so that it looks realistic? So much, almost all success in art is up to you. Okay, it's up to you to be willing to learn and try new things and try to learn different ways to manipulate your materials. Because you really, really can. That's the whole illusion, right? So it's challenging. This is going to be a little challenging for you guys. It's trying something new, and it's colored pencil. So you cannot blend it this way. It is wax-based. It will not move good for you. And what'll actually happen is it'll get very dirty because your paper will pick up the oils from your hands and you'll just have a mess. So you're just having to trust how much pressure you apply and that kind of thing. And I want more of a mid-tone here. So I'm just kind of working back and forth. Not bad. Now I'm going to leave this oval here. I'll erase it in the end because now I have to do this section, this one, and I'm going to do it the same way. Blue will go over top of this. I'll go back with the black in here. This is just a shorter section, so it won't take as long. I'll basically be doing the same thing here. It'll just be like a mirror of that. And then, you know, this one's going to be kind of like this. It's a little shorter. Okay, so I'm going to work on that, and then I will show you guys what it looks like. And there we go. There's my blue one. So, you can, once you get to this point, you can erase your oval. Be very careful. Try to use the edge of your eraser. Erasing too hard can smear your colored pencil, so light pressure. And I will probably now just soften this edge a little. So it's not so like perfectly round. Like that. And then I'll go up there and do that one. Okay? So, like I said, you can do a different color on each one if you want. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do green, blue, green. And I'm not sure about these yet. I will let you know when I know. Okay? So, we're going to try to get 2 of these done between now and Friday. So this is also what you're going to work on for Friday's class. We're asynchronous, but you can still work on this, of course. And yes, that's what we're going to do. So I cannot wait to see these. You guys are going to do great. Just be patient. Go lightly with everything at first. Layer, 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 and you will get a result very, very similar to this one.